So I was not going to talk about this originally, but things have changed since then, so I was like, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to talk about this. Well, there was a new NWC cart found in Seattle, and Metal Jesus did a video about it about a week or two ago, talking about finding it, the guy who found it. It was his brother's. His brother fell on hard times, and he wanted to be able to sell it in order to help his brother out. Well, come to find out, it was a real one, which isn't surprising for Seattle. I feel like something crazy comes out of there at least once a year, so it's nothing new there. But something that is new is that it did sell recently. Well, if you do not know what NWC card is, that is Nintendo World Championship card. Nintendo made about 300 of the gray cartridges, and that's what this one was. And honestly, it was pretty cool because some of these things are really hard to find. They aren't made well. They were made for the competition and nothing really more than that. They weren't fancy. They have random cutout for dip switches for playing the games and all that. So it's quite interesting to see these nowadays and see how they held up. Now I know there's one called the Mario one, which basically the label's ripped off and someone wrote Mario on it. Well, it's an NWC card, so it's worth much more than a Mario one. So I think that's kind of interesting. But the real cool thing is that this has sold. Now, I don't really like to get in on videos that, oh well, Metal Jesus brought this to light. I wasn't going to talk about that. I didn't want to just talk about that. But when he said it sold, I was like, I want to talk about that because that is very interesting. It sold for $23,000 and people did not come out and say who bought it or anything like that. So that's not a surprise because if I bought that, I would want to be secretive too because someone's going to probably try to steal it. But back to the point. $23,000 for one video game is quite a lot of money. Now I have a little Samsung in the box, no manual, but I'm not bragging here. It just is, it's an expensive game. I got lucky when I got it. The guy I got it from had one already, so he wasn't really like, I want to get top dollar, and we'd worked before, so I got a good deal out of it. He got a good deal out of it, so everyone was happy, but that was nothing compared to $23,000 for one video game. Now I know technically you could say it has 3 and it was broken down, whatever, that doesn't matter. But this is a really, really rare game and I thought it was really awesome to see this come to light. This has been in some dude's attic for almost 30 years now. It's 1990s and now it's 2019. It's almost 2020, which means it's almost been there for 30 years. That's insane to think about. But it was in this guy's attic and it was somehow still in good condition. And I'd be interested to see what else he had there. I bet he had some other rare games. If his brother was part of the NWC, I bet he had other games that he played that were really cool on the system. Because, well, I didn't play it and I have a bunch of cool games for the system. But I'm very interested, and I think it kind of makes a point here by saying video games are still a commodity that people want. Like the NWC cart, there were only about 300 made, which makes it really, really rare, but it seems like kind of the prices fluctuate and people were talking maybe like 2016, 2017 that the bubble was gonna burst. Well, I think this just goes to say that the bubble hasn't burst. If someone's willing to shell out that much money for a video game, and this was like a collector. These aren't just rich people that are like, oh, I'm gonna buy one. These are actual collectors. They may be rich, but they're actually collectors that are going out and seeking these. Now, I know there was a bounty or someone said basically on Nintendo Age, I'll pay $20,000 for it. If that's real or not, I don't know, but that's a pretty big deal if someone's willing to say, hey, $20,000. That's like a really nice car or a portion of a house. Like that's a big chunk of change. So when I see stuff like that and then I see it sell for stuff like that, I think yes, this is a really good for the video game collection. If you're selling, if you're buying, not so much. The bubble is not burst, and you'll still see the games go for way more than sometimes I think they're worth. Am I devaluing the NWC cart? No way. If I could get my hands on one, I would totally have it up on that shelf. You would see it right there next to my Samson, next to my Paperboy and the Metroid that are still sealed. That would be a really cool thing, but I don't have one. I don't have the money for that either. So with that being said, I just wanted to let you guys kind of know the news and kind of give my perspective about it, because honestly, it's really cool to see this. Now, I couldn't spend that money unless I was just rich, but it's pretty awesome. I could buy one maybe if I had the whole collection and I've been saving money over a few years or something like that, but I think it is just astronomical amount of price. So with that being said, I want to know what you guys think. Comment down below and say, hey, this is really cool to see these things unearthed. 25, 30 years later, we're still getting these things, which gives me hope and should give you guys hope that going to garage sales, going to flea markets, going to thrift stores, hunting, what this channel is basically about, retro video game pickups, you're still going to be able to find stuff. Now, will you find an NWC? Not necessarily, but you might find something cool, you might find something that you've never seen before, you might find stuff that you can pick up, bundle, and sell it to someone else or trade it to someone else and be able to get a little Samson or something that is hard to find, but if you get the right amount of stuff that's valuable that you could take to that person or sell it or whatever, there's a way to find a way to save money and get a little Samson. That just happened to me, and I'm not bragging about little Samson. I'm very blessed to have it, and so I'm very thankful for everything in my collection. That's just one that people have obviously put a higher price tag on. So with that being said, I know you've commented already, but I want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell notification. That way you know when I post more videos. Here recently, it's been every day. So if you're interested in more videos from me, come back about 5 p.m. Central Time, whatever that is for you. Come back about that time. I've been posting videos, so I'm trying to keep to a more stringent schedule and every day so you guys can have as much content as you want or as little as you want. So with that being said, I want to make sure you have a good day.